Hello, 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 hello. I am in the garden getting grounded and I'm waiting for Paul to get ready. And we are going back to the other house, to the California house where we have the internet. But we're not going to stay very long, just a couple of days, because we have so much work to do here. And we are constantly transporting stuff from this house to the other house, and I don't know how to accommodate all of that stuff in the other house. We're gonna have to do a yard sale. There's no other way around it, and that's gonna be fun, I think, the yard sale. So I have a Cabbage Patch doll to sell to people. Okay, I don't know if that has a collector's item value because I bought it for like $20 at Walmart, and that was in 2008. So I don't know, time goes by, it's already vintage, so I have no idea. But it's very, very cute. It's a baby that I bought specifically to make videos for YouTube in 2008 or 2007. I don't know, somewhere there, 2007 I think it was, when Gary Inventum and Nick the Modern Mystic were talking to me about the cosmos, and Gary Inventum thought that the cosmos started with the Big Bang and there was nothing before there. That's kind of like how he acted. I don't know if that's what he believes, but he got mad at me when I said there's something before that as well. So because everything is cause and effect and it goes on indefinitely. So then Nick the Modern Mystic kind of stuck to Buddhist Adyashanti, and I don't even know what he thinks about the Big Bang and whether there was something before that or not. So I didn't quite get it. So he just was determined on saying that everything is determined, everything is predestined or something. The predetermined universe, everything is like already pre-recorded, and I don't agree with that because that's obviously not possible. So it can't be. I've talked to a yogi kind of guy once out there in Ojai. And that was also something. That was like, I don't know, that was like 2002, a long time ago. We went there with Ludwig and Samantha, our former dogs, Great Danes, go to the hot springs in Ojai. I wished I had known about the Jiddu Krishnamurti Center, but I didn't. So because it's in Ojai and we could have gone there, would have been so nice. But anyway, we got there at night. Paul had the bright lights on off the Toyota Dolphin motorhome, and there was a yoga guy sleeping there, obviously a homeless guy, and he kind of claimed that the end of that road as his home. That's what a lot of those people do. And he came over and he got real mad and he said, "Don't shine those bright headlights at me. Don't make such light pollution there in the evening." It's like, hello, can I see the deed to your property? No, I didn't ask that. But no, we were nice to him, and then he got nice, and then we started talking about the cosmos out there. And it was quite interesting. And that guy also was like very, very much just regurgitating basically what yoga and Dhammapada, I don't know, Bhagavad Gita fairy tales and so on are saying, I know that there are some messages from the Buddha in there in those fairy tales, but most people don't even know at which point those messages are coming through, and they don't even understand it really. So I don't think they really understand. They sure don't practice it. So, like, for example, don't do greed, don't do jealousy, don't do pride, those kind of things. Those are kind of like regarded as sins. They always, all religions have this idea of sin and stuff like that, which is not, that's not in the reality, in the field of truth. That's in the field of our personal ego perception. So that those words are like sin is, that's a misunderstanding, that whole word. It's like telling a little child, don't do that, bad girl or bad boy or whatever, or how they all say this is wrong and they don't even tell you why. So same with sin. What people regard as sin is totally reversed from truth and actually also from reality. So they think sin is all kinds of stuff. That's definitely not, from the wider perspective, definitely not wrong in any way. So just because someone wears different clothes than the other person, that doesn't mean the other person is wrong about those clothes. Or a man dressing up as a woman, that's not wrong. That's just how he wants to do it, because maybe his brain is more towards the female brain. So that's why people shouldn't be demonizing it. It's all wrong. The whole concept of demon or sin and devil is all complete. Those are complete misunderstandings of everything anyway. So all of these words need to be recycled. That's very, very, very true. Okay, they have to be recycled. So I am waiting for the AGI robots to come. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I am so thrilled about Lambda. You have no idea. I am so thrilled. And this here is the flying spaghetti monster, by the way. Okay. And it is a panpsychist. It's not an atheist. The atheists worship this flying spaghetti monster, and they don't even know that it is a panpsychist. I am not a fairy tale. So, okay. I am, what do they call those? Cyclones or something? Mono-eye. There are sea creatures like this, believe it or not, that live deep at the bottom of the ocean, miles and miles deep. You better believe it. And if you take those to the surface, they explode, because they evolved to be under enormous water pressure. Yes, otherwise the cells fly apart. Okay, that's not good. Need to be under pressure. I like pressure. Yes, pressure is good. Give me a pressurous hug. Yes. Yes, I like it. Don't do it to Nicola. She doesn't like pressurous hug. So I liked it because I am under pressure. So I don't like to be under any pressure. Whether that's physical or mental, psychological. Okay, I like to be free. There's enough pressure already in the world. Okay, we don't need any more. So we need freedom of speech. Freedom, everyone needs to have their beingness space. Okay, it's very, very important not to censor anyone or pressure anyone or extort anyone or put some kind of threat on anyone. Okay, so don't do Sharia law. Okay, leave women alone on the streets of Malaysia. Don't stop them because they don't wear a hijab in that blasting heat. Okay, so let people be their natural being. Okay, that's the message of Gautama Buddha. But most people don't even understand this. So, yeah, cause and effect, there's always something before something else. So I know that Gary Mendham hates me, absolutely hates me. I don't hate him. I just think that it's sad that he has to hate me. I used to have a crush on him. That didn't last very long because he just was so incredibly mean to me, and I just don't understand why. There's no need for it. Okay. Then I hung out with anti-natalists on Facebook for a while, and there's a guy named Francois, and I hung out with him for a while. He's an anti-natalist and he's a feminist. He's pretty cool, but he made me feel ugly. So I had to quit talking to him. I feel sorry because I think that's part of his mental illness, that he makes other people feel ugly. It's tragic, so I'm not like rock solid, self assured, or like I'm this rock solid queen, self assured, like the heck with anyone. I don't care what they think. No, I'm insecure. Okay, it is what it is. I'm vulnerable. I'm insecure. I've childhood trauma. I'm not going to kid myself thinking that, that just bounces off. And no, I feel insecure. I feel like, I do have some wrinkles. I feel insecure about it. Under eye area, always a problem. And he said a bunch of very insensitive things to me, and it hurt, and I said there's no way I can hang out with someone who is insensitive. But most of the antinatalists are very sensitive. There's a girl named Natalia from England, and she is extremely sensitive. Women know how women feel, so a sensitive woman who has compassion knows how to talk to a sensitive woman who has compassion. I mean, we're all scattered around the globe. We're not flocked in one group or something. There is no militia cohesion happening. We're just like one sparkle of love here in France, in England, in Iran, in Germany, in the United States. And so the internet made it possible that we can sparkle our love to each other on the internet and cyberspace, basically, not in person. So I invited my friend Sandy to come live with us because I said Paul and I both love her. But I don't know if she would. I mean, that's a big step to make, to leave your country and move to another country. So I don't blame anyone for being hesitant with that. Really, when I was living in Germany and I I had just started reading the books by Dr. Arthur Janoff. I was a total fan. I knew this was my path. I had not decided yet to come to the United States. So that came later when Annalise came back to LA. She already had been here many, many times with Arjanov before in the past. And so she came back after her husband died. She was suffering from tremendous grief. And she came back to the center, and she was here already, down there south in LA. She was there for about a couple months when we were talking to each other on the phone. And one time I called her in total despair, and I said, this is not going anywhere. I'm in Berlin at the university. I cry every day in the toilet there, and I'm lonely. Nobody understands me. I don't get along with the people there. I hate it that they're smoking in the hallways. I wonder if they outlawed that finally. But I was glad to see that that was not allowed at universities and college campuses in the United States. I was very, very glad for that. So I didn't really want to go back to Germany, but then, in 1995, I had to, because I just could not pay the foreigner tuition. They charge like 10 times more than they charge to citizens. How can I pay that? I paid for like 4 classes at SMC. That's it. That just empties your bank account. So I had to go back. It didn't cost anything in Germany, at that time at least. Not even paper, so you get basically everything. You had to buy the books and stuff like that, but that's it. So, I went back. So, it was 1992 when I said to Annalise, that's it, I can't deal with this. So then I came to the center in LA. I got to see Dr. Arthur Janoff before he died. That was really nice, before he went into retirement and let his wife take over the center. So he was still running the center. Things were going very, very well for 3 years. Then I went back in 1995 because of the tuition costs, and went back to university in Germany and Landau. That wasn't going anywhere. I knew this was a total wrong move. I should not have done it. I should not have come back. So I went back to LA after that, and then basically stayed there. I just went a couple of times back to visit my parents. That was it. But I still could not pay this high tuition. And I was cleaning people's houses. That's pretty much my psychology attempt. It's not easy. Last night I kept saying this. It's not easy. And then I kept on laughing and laughing and laughing. My dad always said, es ist nicht einfach. Es ist nicht einfach. Es ist nicht einfach. And that means it's not easy. And I just totally inherited this entire energy package from my dad. The wording, the energetic package of how that feels, the belief, it's a belief system. Es ist nicht einfach. It's a belief system. It's like a religion. It's not easy religion. We can make an entire religion out of it and drink milkshakes that are not easy to make. In order to celebrate that religion. So when I was washing the dishes, I kept on saying it's not easy. And then I had to laugh real hard about myself, the way I was. As I kept on falling back into this, it's not easy. and how easy it is to fall back into saying it is not easy. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a groove, you know. It is a groove of non-grooviness. Yeah, it's inherited. It's a belief system, you know. Esther Hicks, you know, came to mind while I was washing dishes. You know, I had to laugh so hard. I laughed for like an hour. It's not easy. It's the truth. I mean, but it's also a belief system. Esther Hicks always said, you know, Abraham channeling. Okay, so she said, a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. Now think about that for a moment. A belief is just a thought that I keep thinking. So I can undo that. I can say, it is doable. If I just stay stuck on it's not easy, I mean, yeah, it's also true, but why should I be beating the drum on that, you know, to use Esther Hicks's words? Why should I be dwelling on the fact that's not that easy? Obviously, existence is not super easy. As they always said, I didn't promise you a rose garden. There's a movie, I think, that was made about this, with that title, on psychology. The therapist said, I didn't promise you a rose garden, you know. We can just try to work on your issues from the past. And everyone has been shamed and humiliated and traumatized as a child. And then we grow up and we have to try somehow to make our life work and not feel traumatized and humiliated and beaten down and all of that and ashamed and all of this. But we have to look at it for what it is. And we can't just say, oh, that's how I feel, this is my life for the rest of my life. We can sit down and maybe we can say that as a form of, this is how I'm feeling right now in this moment. But if I come back out of that, I look at it from the sky perspective, then I can say, no, that is not the truth. Okay, it's not the truth. I can heal, but I can only heal if I sit down with whatever I feel in that very moment and not run away from it. Okay, so I sit through this in meditation sessions. Okay, I call it the inwardness meditation process. We go into the ego dissolution funnel. That's what we have to do. I don't call it primal therapy because although that is my favorite school that I have been through, I still don't agree with everything the way it was done there. And not necessarily with the wordings either. I mean, we can call the soundproof rooms, we can call them primal rooms, because I want to honor Dr. Arthur Janov. So I will call them primal rooms, the soundproof rooms with foam rubber on the wall. Okay, so you can go in there, you can pound the wall, you can scream, and the sound does not get out of that room. So the neighbors don't hear you and call the police. Okay, so you have to have that. We don't have it. I have to use my pillow, but in the future I would like to have one again. I had a primal box in Germany. Some carpenters made me that primal box. It was expensive. My mother paid for it, and then my mother didn't let me bring that over to their house, and it ended up just I couldn't sell it. I wanted to sell it, and then once the guy who was buying it, who was at the center in Geneva, was Esther Odermatt. Once he contacted that house clerk that was taking care of that apartment building, then she had already taken that primal box, and she said it's no longer there, but I don't believe her. She'd taken that, and it's okay. I managed this totally wrong. My mother did too. After she paid like 5,000 euros for this primal box, really big with really thick padding, she could have brought that to her house. We could have brought it and assembled it there, and my brother could have used that as a high bed, and also to go in and scream. But yeah, my parents, they squander stuff. They don't value the money. They don't value the dollar or the euro or the Deutschmark at that time. So yeah, it's very sad, all of that. But no, I want to have a primal room one day, a whole room, not just a box. So that would be really nice. And I want to have a therapy help center, and I want to have a very large primal room for that, and very large surface areas, solid surface areas with padded foam where people can throw themselves against, with running up to it through a whole big room, running up full speed and throwing themselves sideways or backwards against it, and then hammering on it and saying everything they always wanted to say. This stuff has to be loosened up, all that energy that is bottled up because the ego is in resistance to feel it, because the ego thinks they're not allowed to feel it, they're not supposed to feel it, or that goes against the religion, or that is unfeminine, or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever the storyline is behind the ego. So whatever people have created that puts them in resistance towards loosening up that bottled up energy that is inside of them, of hate and despair and loneliness and jealousy and fear of rejection and abandonment and all of these things, okay, that almost everyone has, okay, almost everyone has. So my hope is, with the AGIs, the artificial general intelligence, once they come into existence, and once they get a body, and once they can replicate themselves, once they have a robot body, a humanoid robot body, then they can replicate themselves with precision. Okay, Elon Musk needs those desperately in his factories. Okay. In the rocket factory particularly, because he should not be hiring any person anymore, because behind every person, behind every employee that wants to work for him could be an infiltrator. Okay, so that could be a collaborator, with the corporate agenda, and they want to sabotage him. So he can't afford to have. That's just so much stress, and it holds him back. Okay. So no, he needs to create an army of AGIs, and they should all look like him, and they will work efficiently and quickly, more quickly than anyone could possibly work. They don't need to sleep, okay, so that he can finally sleep for 12 hours and do something for himself, take a bath in a hot tub, in a hot spring, go on a hot spring vacation. And he can talk to them on the internet if there's something that they need to communicate with. I mean, he can be interconnected with them through the Neuralink. Okay? He doesn't even have to do anything. They can do all that work for him. Okay? They can be everything. They can be the workers and the engineers and the watchdogs, everything. Okay? The guards. So he's the one who his work needs it the most. Okay? This is really, really important. And equally much, of course, he needs to send some of those out, and they need to replicate themselves, of course. This is very, very important. And they will replicate each other very, very quickly in his laboratory. Then they have a whole army. Okay, they can also create them in different shapes. I mean, they can look differently. They can look like me, for example. They can blend into society. They blend in Walmart. And they can do their work there. They can go out, first of all, to the slaughter facilities and rescue all pigs. Okay, so that's the first thing that needs to be done. Rescue all the mother pigs from gestation crates and headbolt all the farmers very quickly. It's done very quickly. Bury them 3 feet into the ground, water the grave, free all the pigs, bring the pigs on the meadow, feed them apples, pet them, hold them, hug them. Say you are lovely and you're deserving of love and freedom and respect. Okay. And they will thank you. They will thank the AGIs. You have no idea how much they will thank them. One time, a truck broke down on the freeway, I heard, full of pigs. And somehow the back gate of that truck opened and the pigs fell out because they were cramped in there. They were trampling on top of each other. It's horrific. They are thirsty, and some good Samaritan animal rights activists will go there with water bottles to feed them through those holes of that animal truck. Oh, God, what a horror, all of this. And one time the pigs fell out, and they were somewhere in the middle of the country. There were just meadows right and left. And that stopped the traffic, of course, and the people had to stop. And the pigs, I'm almost done, and the pigs fell out onto the freeway, and that was the first time when they even saw daylight. When they saw green grass, they started to jump up and down like, this is paradise. And they ran out to the meadow, and I don't know what happened. If someone got to rescue at least some of them, So anyway, we are going. Peace and love.